Hello, Grant Wiley here from Worthington Publishing, about to give you a little over-the-shoulder gameplay of our new game on Kickstarter, HOLDFAST TUNISIA. This recreates the 1942-1943 Operation Torch and the months after that between the Axis and Allied forces during World War II. Represented in the game are the British, American, French, you can see the French piece there with the large blue symbol, Italians, and German infantry. I'm going to zoom out on the board here, give you a full board look. Now guys, this is a printed out board of a playtest by us, and this is not what you're going to get in the game. You're going to get a full color hard mounted board, blocks and labels. All this is self-printed. The Africa Corps appear later in the game along with the British 8th Army pursuing them down here in this area, representing North Africa off board. But this is the opening setup, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about gameplay and go from there. Each unit is represented and on the piece, in the top left corner of the piece, you'll see a square that shows how many dice it rolls in combat. In the top right corner is a red number. That is the number you roll when that unit's in combat to hit that unit. So the Allies rolling at that Italian unit would hit this Italian unit on any die roll of 4, 5, or 6. Rolls of 6 are always applied to armor in combat. The goal in the game for the Allies is to capture Bizerta, which is here, and Tunis, which is here, which would have trapped the Africa Corps, which were off board as they were retreating across. That's also a port of entry for the Axis reinforcements in the game, Tunis and Bizerta. Each turn, each player receives a set number of action points, between 6 action points and up to 14. The sides progressively get higher in each game. Each turn, each player performs a set of actions or a sequence. The first of which you roll to check weather. On a die roll of 6, it's bad weather that reduces infantry movement by 1 and our armor unit by 2. Next, you determine the resource points for each player. Then the Allied player places his reinforcements and adds replacements. Replacement units, when you add them, you spend your resource points. Resource points are like money or supplies. You can add steps to units that have been reduced. So if this Italian infantry was at a 3, you could upgrade them to a 4 strength unit by spending 1 replacement point. This is always done before movement in combat. So as a commander, you have to spend your action points wisely. Otherwise, you end up with some left at the end of the turn. To bring on an eliminated infantry unit, it would cost 2 replacement steps. Eliminated armor costs 3 replacement steps. You always bring them on at the lowest step, which is 1. As you see, there are pips around each unit. That one is at full strength, is at 4 pips. You rotate him as he takes hits in combat down to 3, 2, 1, and then remove him from the board. While if you add replacement steps, you rotate them in the opposite direction. Each different type of nationality and unit is rated for movement and combat based on how they performed historically. The German Africa Corps units typically roll 5 dice, particularly the armor in combat, because they were crack troops, elite troops experienced in combat, whereas the Americans roll 3 dice and are hit on 5s, their infantry. So anyway, to roll through combat, I have no points to spend for the Germans on replacements because we're just starting the game. Everybody's at full strength. But it's the Allies that start first. So to move cost 1 action. So I'm going to reduce myself from 6 to 5 actions, and we're going to move this infantry along road, which costs 1 movement point to move along road. And he's going to go, and he receives 5 action points because most U.S. infantry was mobile. 1, 2, 3. You move next to an enemy unit, it costs you 2 movement points. So he's now next to him. I've spent one of my actions. I'll now move the French unit for one action, reducing myself from 5 to 4, and go 1, 2, 3. I now have 2 units next to that German unit. And now I'm going to spend one of my next action points, resource points, and reduce myself from 4 to 3. The French will roll 3 dice. The Americans will roll 3. That's 6 total dice. But due to terrain, the German unit here is in a village in rough terrain. For rough terrain, it's -1 die to each attacking unit, so that takes him from 3 to 2 and him from 3 to 2. So now I'm rolling 4 dice. The American here is just going across the river. The German unit gets to roll a dice for that and see if he hits the American units. He hits the American units on a roll of 5 or 6. We're going to say he hits them, knocks them down to 2. And the French unit is attacking across an escarpment. That's -1 die. And all the die are cumulative. So this French unit is now attacking with 1 die. The American unit with 2 dice. I roll 3 dice. Hitting the German on a 5 or 6, we'll say we hit him twice. He is rotated from 3 strength points to 2. Now I can spend some more resource points by the American or Allied forces. I still have 2 left. So we're going to move up some reinforcements. The units can move through each other. I have an armor unit here. He can move 8. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can move through opponents' zones of control. If you played war games before, you know the 6 hexes immediately around a unit or its zone of control. I can move through those, stop him there. I still have 1 resource point left. We're going to get another American armor up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 points I've just spent, and that is my closing position for the Allies. Guys, that's just a real quick explanation of gameplay. We hope you back us. If you want a little more detail, you can read the rules. I just wanted to walk you through a quick turn. The system really allows you to recreate the blitzkrieg warfare of World War II. You also have air units, combat teams, Kampfgruppe units. I hope I pronounced that right. Air units that add die to attack. I could have added 1 die to attack by adding a combat team there. I didn't want to do it. I'm just trying to show you a quick down and dirty. Guys, again, thank you for viewing. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this gives you some insight into gameplay. Thank you.